Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm Kiv, your favorite degenerate, and today I want to talk about Halo Infinite's player base and how the people over at 343 could do a couple of things to help retain what's left of it. Because even though it's the latest in the series, we're basically getting towards MCC player numbers right now. Don't get me wrong, I love the MCC and I love going back on there for a bit of fun, but that's a depressingly big oof. Like, that is a game that released years ago, which has seen a big improvement, but not really something that you would want to see overtaking the latest game in the franchise so soon after its release. And yes, obviously the big cause behind all of that is the extremely long list of problems that hasn't really seen any kind of significant progress towards any of the issues that the entire community has been complaining about since release. Well, I mean, since the beta, I guess you could say, but essentially at this point the entire Halo community has pretty much accepted the fact that when Forge comes out, we're all going to be going full Thanos and saying, fine, I'll make the game good myself. Like, that's what we've all pretty much invisibly accepted at this point. I can't wait to see what the community can do when they get their hands on the Forge, because if the recent leaks are anything to go by, we're gonna have a crazy amount of fun, and that's gonna be amazing. However, in the meantime, how on earth are we going to be able to retain as many players as possible? Because obviously the sooner 343 makes these changes and improves the game, the better chance we'll have of having more of a bounce back with Infinite. But the longer this goes on, the more likely people are just going to drop Halo entirely, even if they're a new fan. So that's why I think that there are a couple of small things that they could do to help make sure that the people who are still hanging around do continue to do that. So let's go through a couple of short solutions that could help all of that out. Number 1. Daily login rewards. While this isn't something that Halo has done in the past, it is something that I think would help to benefit the game, because it's more so as a message to the player base that says, hey, we know the game's not in a great state, but thank you for your support and thanks for sticking with it and continuing to play Infinite. Because if you're playing Infinite right now, you deserve a goddamn medal. Thank you for sticking with the game, and I think that 343 needs to admit that, to at least some degree. The other thing I think that you could pair in with that is giving people some credits to help spend in the store, because yeah, that would definitely go a long way to helping make sure that people find this stuff rewarding and that they're still unlocking content, because I'd say that most players by now have already completed Season 2's Battle Pass, or at least gotten through most of it, so making sure that there's still stuff to unlock and or at least purchase is going to also help make sure that the game stays a little bit more fresh. Number 2, rotating playlists. Please, for the love of God, make the change, because I am sick of seeing the exact same game modes featured all the time, and it just really hurts the game when you don't have as much fresh variety there. I mean, come on guys, Infection, get it in there, make it happen. The medals were leaked ages ago. I made a video about it months ago, and I figured that it would be here by now. One of my fellow Aussie YouTubers, Lepa Laden, told me a while back, hey, I bet you that they are keeping that away until Halloween time, and they're going to release Infection then as some kind of special game mode. And at the time I said, oh, sure, whatever, but the realization has sunk in, because it's been months since we saw the medals in the game files, and the realization is just that, holy crap, they have been sitting on this for ages and they just haven't done anything. Because let's be honest, it's not a difficult game mode to actually create. It's been around since Halo 2, it's a fan favorite mode. I would say it's probably hurting the game more by not having it there. But anyway, let's move on to number 3, the store. This is an area that a lot of people have some gripes with, but in a very simple way, I think that the store should allow you to buy armor sets and also individual pieces from a particular set. A lot of times, I'll look at an armor set and say, hey, I don't want to spend 10 or 15 bucks, but I wouldn't mind spending $1 or $2 for this particular armor coating or this particular piece, because a lot of the time you can't buy it individually, and God knows you can't get it from playing the game. So I feel as if that would be a much more fair way to help keep people interested in what's actually happening in the store. A lot of you may say, Kiv, why on earth would changing the store help player retention? Well, here's the thing. If you buy an armor piece, then you've made a commitment, so you would probably end up playing the game for a couple of hours. So in a way, I think that would help the game, because people do care about what's there in the store. Obviously, whenever we complain, 343 makes changes, so it's something that they want to have working as well. That's their money machine. So if they make it more accessible, then it's only going to benefit them. At least that's the way I see it. And finally now, moving on to number 4, I think that we should be seeing map remakes before Season 3. I know there are lots of other issues in the game, but honestly, we need more maps in this game. There's basically shit all, and it's terrible. Whenever I say this, I hate sounding like a crack addict, but at the same time, it's the reality of it. It's a multiplayer game, we need multiplayer maps to play on. I mean, even if they are just blank Forge maps, it doesn't matter. As long as it's a new layout, it'll be a hell of a lot better than what we have right now. You don't have to redesign every environment to make a remake. But that's a couple of small things that I think wouldn't take a hell of a lot of effort, but would still have a good amount of effect on the Halo community, and help make sure that players stick around and keep playing Infinite, because the gameplay is good. It's a really nice playing Halo game, and I actually really enjoy it. So I think that it's definitely worthwhile when we've got something to enjoy. So that's my thoughts on it, but let me know what you all think in the comments section down below. And if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe. It's all part of the great journey. So join me. I've been Kiv, and I'll see you all on the next one.